We are back.
Okay. Welcome to podcast, or god damn it. Welcome to Podspill number 10. This is the 10th podcast.
Sure it's
This
10?
is the 10th
This
one.
is the 10th one.
We
Because
are,
that's what I labeled my
You're
doc. I'm John.
Soren.
Joined by Soren, and joined by
Malcolm.
as always.
Malcolm.
We have a lot of, I don't know, stuff to talk about. So this week, I don't know, 3-4 days ago, 2 days ago, Infinity War trailer.
Oh.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yes. All those numbers.
I don't prepare anyone for what we're going to start with.
Oh, we're good.
We just go in. So Infinity War, that trailer dropped, and did we learn anything new from this?
Captain America can grow a very sweet beard in his time of
Well, we already
solitude.
knew that.
But that is true, yeah. It looks really good in that up close where he's holding... Is he holding Thanos'
Glove.
index finger and
Pinky.
pinky? And he's just like...
It's scary.
No.
That hurts. That hurts. Have you ever had that done to you?
No, because I feel like... When are you going to catch a fist like...
Let's see. Punch me. Punch me. Here we go. Let's go.
No.
Let's do this.
I'm just saying it's just a weird deflection. It's like...
Maybe he was trying to grab him.
Well, I think he was
he was trying to stop the fist.
He
and
was
realize
trying to
it's
do
the size of his
he was
chest.
doing the wushu finger hold from Kung Fu Panda 3, where he grabs him by the tip.
I didn't know there was a third. Did you?
Well,
know
yeah.
that?
See,
Or no, wait, it was it the first one or the third one? I don't know which one it was.
We have to do a Rotten Tomatoes for all of them.
all of the Disney properties are now the same universe. The Disney,
Jack Black's gonna
Yes,
show
yes.
up, colored like a panda.
Oh my fucking.
Spray painted on one.
It's the Furious Five.
I heard that Thanos was around. That's my Jack Black. It's terrible.
No, I thought it was good. Do it again.
No, I don't want to. It was embarrassing.
Oh, okay.
So, God. All right. So about this, I've been kind of like looking at a bunch of different videos online.
Boy.
About what is happening. Sorry, there's people are distracted in this room. Why are we distracted?
Because...
I'm pretty sure he's shopping for an online brand.
Yeah.
Hey.
We're learning some new things at the library. You learn something every time.
That gentleman can do...
You walk into the library.
That's right. Okay.
Anyways.
Let's just cut that.
We're only at 2 minutes.
Let's just keep it. It's fine.
Just don't go to the public library,
Just
kids.
don't go.
And watch your ISPs.
All right, so I've been watching some like theory videos online about the location of the Soul Stone, which is the last Infinity Stone. Is that what they're called?
Yes. Yep.
Wait, which
Infinity
color
Glove,
is
Infinity
Soul
Stone, to Infinity and beyond.
I think the Soul Stone is supposed to be
Green is time. I thought yellow was
Green
soul.
is time, yellow is soul, red is ether or something.
Not
I
a
don't
soul
know.
gem. That is.
Soul Stone is
sky.
orange,
Or orange, yeah.
and then whatever Vision has
Is
the
the
yellow.
They say my premiere in Captain Marvel.
Huh. And then the what's the purple one? The Power Stone. Purple
Yeah,
Power Stone?
Sure.
I think they all have like specific names. Like, well, the
they
Tesseract,
do, yeah.
Ether, the Time Stone. I think that one's just straight up called the Time Stone.
Oh, I think they're all called those stones. Those are just
Or
like
there might
names
be
they've been
a-
assigned.
Or there might be a talisman because it is a necklace that Doctor Strange.
It's the
wears.
eye of something.
The eye of something. Yeah.
Agamotto.
And then
John earlier today told us we'd make him feel less nerdy.
because we
We went fucking toy shopping.
Okay.
Collectibles.
Okay.
Segue. That Toys right now. Yeah.
Okay. Let's make some predictions based off this Infinity War trailer and maybe what we want for the movie. I think we can blend this into a good discussion.
For sure.
So do we think that a lot of the videos that I've been seeing, like Soul Stones, are probably people think it's Wakanda. Do we think
Like
it's
that's where they think it is.
Yeah, because like
That's where like all the vibranium and stuff originated.
right. So like you haven't seen Black Panther,
Yep.
but
Still.
Jesus
Yeah, I
Christ,
know.
it's
on me.
time to spoil
it's-
this for you.
Yep. Go for it.
So
That's okay.
basically, he gets his power of the Black Panther by drinking this thing called the heart-shaped herb,
Okay.
and like they mash it down into
It's
like this
purple.
thing,
Okay.
and he drinks, and he's like, I'm Black Panther now.
Yeah.
All right. So people think that, and also like during this transformation process, he
Uh-huh.
like goes into like a
Catatonic state.
Yeah.
catatonic, hallucinogenic state.
Yeah.
And he
As
goes,
you
like,
would when you get superpowers.
Right, and he goes to like this plane where all of his ancestors are.
It's like the scene from Lion
Okay.
King where Mufasa's in the clouds. It's
I
kind
get-
of like that, where he's like talking.
I
to his
see what you're
ancestors.
saying.
So
I can
so
see
this
why
happens. So we were like soul stones there
Uh-huh.
because they have like a connection
connection
to
or something. Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
So do we think it's there?
I don't know. So in the movie, I've only seen but small little excerpts of it. But he has like a purple second mode, right? Is that like some sort of
That's right after he drinks it, he gets purple.
okay?
veins.
And then Michael B. Jordan's character has what color?
Same.
Gold.
Oh, you
Thought
talking about
his
like
was-
in the
yeah.
Oh, that's just the color of their suits. That's nothing to do.
So-
That's,
Oh,
I thought-
she made
I
a
thought
silver
something
one and she made a
happened.
gold one.
Okay.
His sister's like their tech person. The one Michael B. Jordan's wearing is like a really big gold necklace, and
No,
he
I thought
likes
there
the
was like a
smaller
moment
silver
where they
one.
all have like these weird runes around them.
This is true.
Yes.
Which
So-
one is he talking about?
Basically, what you're talking about is that in the movie, his suit, which is usually black,
Mm-hmm.
turns purple sometimes.
Yes.
Now, this is because it absorbs shock.
Kinetic energy.
Okay.
Thank you. Kinetic energy.
Science.
Whatever.
Science.
I know the equation for it too.
Well, I'm fucking done. already. So, basically, and that's also what Michael B. Jordan's suit does, except it turns gold.
Yes.
And
It's just there's like a point where they're like, oh, I made you 3 options, and he picks one, and then Michael B. Jordan, when he takes over, takes a different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought the color might have something to do with the soul stone, but yeah.
No.
But really, the only color that's of note is the fact that those flowers are purple. The ones they smash up, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. I don't know. I get why people would think like there's some sort of connection with the soul stone when he sees his ancestors, because it's like. Because his ancestors have all been the Black Panther before, so then it's kind of like in like My Hero Academia. It's one of the crazy new animes out
I've
there.
seen it. It's great.
All Might's power, essentially, like it transfers to each superhero, and so like each superhero gets to put their spin on like previous superheroes' powers, so they get like all of it into one. So I could see like why people would think like the Soul Stone's in Wakanda, because he gets to like go back and like potentially maybe when he turns purple, it's like channeling the primal instincts of his ancestors or whatever.
I
So
got
then
you.
having the like Soul Stone be the link to some sort of mystical force where you can like channel other people before you would make sense.
Right.
And definitely give some validity to the theory that the Soul Stone's in Wakanda.
Yeah. So just kind of like looking, I finally found an article that describes what all these fucking stones do, because, again, I'm not really a huge comics reader in terms of Marvel, but okay. So the Soul Stone in Marvel Comics was a somewhat sentient creature that could trap souls inside another world. The concept of souls really has been explored in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and no telling how it will be presented on screen. So basically, yeah, like kind of what we're thinking along the lines of that's how they're able to, the Wakandans are able to access like this different realm is through the Soul Stone. So that's kind of what people have been thinking. But so in the movie, do we think that Thanos will get every stone?
I think that'll be like the end. He gets the stone, and then whoever dies gets
Okay.
next.
I don't know. I think he's going to take all the stones of the. He's going to
The
take
ones
all
we
the
know.
stones of the ones that we know, and then whoever dies in the movie will come back in the form of whichever character finds the Soul Stone,
Okay.
and then we'll see the last cameo of like I don't know, Captain America or Scarlet Witch or
Not Scarlet Witch. If she dies, she needs to stay dead.
Black Widow or whoever dies. Jeremy Renner's character. Did Hawkeye die?
No, he's still there. He
Yeah.
retired.
Oh yeah,
I think he's coming back.
He
now.
may come back again.
And they want to make a Black Widow movie. They're in talks of it, so she's probably not going to die either.
Yeah, so I think but whoever does die in the movie, I think the Soul Stone will be like the next part, because isn't there supposed to be Infinity War?
Yeah, it's a 2-part.
Yeah,
Finale to the grand plan.
Yeah.
Phase 3 will be over.
yeah,
Right.
So I think like that will be like he'll probably get the Soul Stone in another movie or in another way, but we'll still see like some weird homage because
I
of
think-
like Black Panthers.
I think it wouldn't make sense to split it into 2 if there's not like a definitive split. And I feel like the split should be Thanos kills everyone without the stones, gets the stones. Oh God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
And then Bucky shows up and wins.
I just think like they've done a really good job. They've done a really good job at like putting the soul or the soul gems, soul stones, or gems. I don't know.
Yeah,
the
they're
gems.
like
In each movie, like very deliberately, and the only one that we don't know is going to be the Soul Stone, and I don't see them not doing anything big with it.
yeah.
So
and
I don't.
and apparently the times.
And this movie already looks big enough.
They have the time stone.
Yeah, they have the
That's
time
Ca-
one.
that's
Yeah,
Doctor
that's
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, this could be like an old sequel.
But
I don't think it's confirmed. I mean, it's pretty much like.
It's a green shining
Yeah.
star.
Oh, this is from 2015. When did?
It was like a year,
2017.
it's 2016 or
Yeah.
2017.
Okay, yeah, this article's old, so
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say he uses it travel through time. It's
Yeah.
shiny and green.
yeah.
right. That makes sense.
But like this movie looks too big enough to like introduce such a huge plot point like the Soul Stone, because I feel like they have to do some, because they've done some explaining. They did the Power Stone pretty well. They did the Time Stone pretty
Right.
well. They didn't do the Ether as well. The,
Which one's
the red
the
one?
Ether?
It was the one in Dark World.
Yeah.
It's the Reality Stone.
Yeah.
I
And
completely
then
blocked out Dark World.
The ether is a red floating liquid thing that attaches to a host and makes him or her stronger, question mark, this article says.
Yeah.
This article's fucking shit. And the comics, it's more focused on wish fulfillment. Its only appearance in the movie so far has been Thor the Dark World as the thing Natalie Portman has and the bad guy really wants. By the end of the film, it was given to the Collector for safekeeping.
And that was when we saw,
Yeah.
I think not the, who's the duck?
Howard.
Howard.
I
I
love
think
Howard.
we saw him again at the end of that movie.
Yeah, I believe so.
Is that the one where he hatches?
I don't remember.
I don't think he hatches. I think he's just in a...
Oh,
Either way, I don't know. They did the Infinity Glove scene pretty like they did that at the very end, so that they're not going to do a big plot point for that one.
I
So
think
it makes
he
me
has
think
some
like
of
the
those
Soul
stones.
Stone is going to be like a big moment for everybody. Because I really think they'll show some sort of like last cameo.
I think it
using
has to
Soul Stone's
be
power.
somewhere. I think we've probably already seen it somewhere on Earth since he
Most
shows up on
likely,
Earth.
yeah.
He's not going to show up on Earth before he gets the rest of the.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's there for two of them, but
Right.
And even with like when, and they all come in like the only one I feel like they kind of explored was the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy, where they really kind of described what the Soul Stones do.
well, yeah, that was the start of Phase
and like
3, wasn't it?
the origin of it, but how all of it kind of came in like a different form. Because even though they all have their original stone names or whatever it is, they come in like the ether form. It's
Right.
like the form of whatever like that power is, and the Tesseract, which is like a teleportation thing,
Right.
and then the power orb or whatever, which was just a container to hold the power of the souls.
Right.
The purple one. And then the time one is that talisman for magical uses.
Right.
And then whatever the soul stone will be or has been in the movie already. I don't know what it would be.
I don't know. I can see why people say Captain Marvel though, because it's the last movie before the end of this whole arc.
Oh, so you
So
think Captain
the-
Marvel might have the soul stone?
That's we saw the article when we were looking up like where's this Soul Stone. So it's going to be Avengers, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes.
Which-
Captain Marvel, Avengers 4.
Where
And
does-
Ant-Man's not going to give us anything new.
Where
No.
does Ant-Man and the Wasp take place, like in terms of like chronological order?
in the aftermath of Captain, it just said right there. In the aftermath of Captain
Of
America
Civil War.
Civil War. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that one takes place like right after, which means that it's like, okay, so we just had this Civil War, and now we're gonna like bolster our ranks. Hey,
Okay.
what up, Wasp?
okay.
Well, I think
Alright.
I think the Wasp, she gets the suit at the end of the last one, and that was
Yeah.
the extra scene.
So yeah, and so
It
it'll be
sounds like it's
all
going to
right,
have
now we're
nothing to
joining
do
the-
with anything else.
It won't, but it's just like
I love
they're
Ant-Man.
introducing more people so that in the next Avengers 4 you'll probably see the Wasp.
So does this mean that Ant-Man and the Wasp are not going to be in Avengers?
I think they will.
Yeah, no, they definitely will. Ant-Man
Okay.
stays around in the Avengers. For
All
a
right, so we
while.
don't think. I mean, so okay, so we.
I
don't-
think he's going to be like he was last time, where it's like, oh,
He's
Paul Rudd's here, guys.
he's Captain Adam, or the DC's version of Captain Adam, or Marvel's version of Captain
This is
Adam
true.
from DC. Sorry.
Okay,
I didn't realize they had planned Phase 4.
So- now
Spider-Man 2.
I think we should play a game,
Okay.
and it's called Death Predictions.
Death predictions.
Can I go first?
Yes. Now I'm going to lay one rule.
Okay.
We can pick up to 3.
Okay.
I think that's a good number. 'Cause I'm not sure if they're going to kill. they're going to definitely kill someone.
Okay.
Is there going to be 2? Maybe. 3 is... I think 3. You pick up to 3. You can choose how many ever you want. So, Malcolm, you want to go first? What is it?
Captain America is the big death, I think. At the end of the movie, I think Chris Evans dies.
Mm-hmm.
Rip his beautiful beard.
Why? Okay, so why?
So they want to kill off... Well, so for plot reasons, you want to kill off one of the big people actually care about, and those are kind of limited. Like I said, Scarlet Witch has... I don't think it'd be that big of a deal if they killed Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. Just don't think it mattered. Iron Man, I feel like Robert Downey Jr. basically carried the superhero movies for most of the time, and he's more willing to he's been in more stuff. And I think Captain America, for some reason, people seem to like him equally with Iron Man. And I don't get that. I don't think he's as good. But
America, that's why.
Yes,
America.
But I just think it makes more sense that if someone's gonna sacrifice themselves to kill Thanos, I think it's gonna be Tony Stark. Kind of did that in the first Avengers, right?
Yeah,
he threw stuff in outer space.
And then in Iron Man 3, we were like, let's talk about his psyche.
Yeah, I think Captain America is gonna basically sacrifice himself for everyone to get away.
So do we think in that last shot of Infinity War, that's what they're trying to hint at us? In the shot that I'm talking about is where it's Captain America versus Thanos. Do you think that that's what they're trying to hint?
No, I think they're just going to show a struggle, and I think it's meant to be oh yeah, he's back, and he's going to take care of everything, but he's actually going to die.
I think I think that's earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
I think
so
this
too.
movie ends with the visions from Tony's, which would be my other point as to why Captain America and the visions Tony has from the Scarlet Witch, which they didn't really specify whether these are seeing the future or she just made them up.
Yeah,
but I mean they're pretty specific to Thanos.
And those visions came in Avengers...
Ultron, yeah.
Yeah, Ultron.
And it was Captain America was everyone was dead, but Captain America was the center guy in those visions of being dead.
Yeah, and it was him on the throne, right? And everyone around, or it was a throne, and everyone around on the ground.
And Tony's the one who's ready for this. He's been building all this stuff.
And they've done, in terms of who's gone through the character progression, in terms of who's changed the most emotionally, I think he would be the one. Because, his origin story is rich, philanthropy, playboy, Batman, Bruce, all that fun stuff. And then he goes through, the terrorist stuff, changes his ways, loses his, wife, essentially, doesn't really have too many people in his life. Loses his best friend because of ideals, changes his ideals a little bit to be okay, we don't need to be I guess I was... Because at the end of that movie, he still was I guess I was kind of wrong. And they went with Captain America's, I guess, moral reasonings instead of Tony's. Even though he still had to run off and be a whatever. And so then they'll kill his best friend off, and then they'll leave Tony in charge of the rest of the cameos.
Yeah, I think it has to be... I think obviously... Maybe not obviously. I feel like it has to be Iron Man or Captain America, the faces of Marvel.
And you think Captain
America? I think it's Captain... Because for non-storyline reasons, like Soren said, I think Robert Downey Jr. will show up to more stuff. He's more willing to carry it on. Chris Evans has said he wants to start directing.
I think I read something that even before he accepted the role of Captain America,
he said, "This is my number."
Well, even he was just I don't think he wanted to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, I just feel like Robert Downey Jr. Plus, they haven't set up a new Robert Downey Jr., but they set up a new Captain America, and they kind of, for a new character, the Winter Soldier got a lot of attention, all the time. It wasn't they introduced him like Scarlet Witch or something, and then he disappeared, or the Vision.
Yeah,
he's the main focus of multiple movies.
And I don't think they're gonna replace him.
Well, that's what they do in the comics.
They do that in the comics, and who is it? There's 2 other people. There's a woman who takes up the mantle for Captain America, and then there's the Hawk. The Hawk, Falcon.
I love the Falcon.
Falcon. So, and I don't think they'll do that because I think actually people
Predatory bird.
This rendition of the Falcon a lot more than in the comic books.
Okay.
But I think essentially what's going to happen is that Captain Marvel is going to replace Captain America's role and will then be the new face for Phase 4.
Other 2 people. The Vision.
Okay.
And I couldn't be happier by saying that.
I think that's a solid choice.
I hope the Vision dies.
Yeah.
What a butchering of the character.
Me too.
I flew through Cool.
And
Literally, his
and
plot line
Scarlet
for the
Witch
last one was like, I flew through the walls and I don't know any better. It's okay.
They're the two of them and their love. It just.
And I
felt I don't know.
I want Scarlet Witch to die, but I don't think she's going to. I think they bring back the Iron Patriot or whatever, Don Cheadle's character.
Yeah.
And I think they kill him right afterwards. I think they bring him back and then he dies.
No, I think they're going to get rid of Rowdy. I think Rowdy's done because they already had one actor change. Remember, Rowdy wasn't the...
Yeah, the Iron Patriot.
Yeah, but he was not always Don Cheadle.
Yeah, he was...
So I don't think
he was Terrence
like,
Howard, who then said 2 + 2 =
Yeah.
1. So, whatever.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're going to bring him back just because that specific character has already had too many, like, real-world issues.
I mean, I think they're bringing him back. They brought him up in Civil War.
Yeah,
they bring him up again afterwards.
He's in the trailer, isn't he?
But I think they only did that because, you know...
No, I think they bring him back and I think they
Captain
kill him
America,
so Tony
like,
gets
hurt
upset.
his best friend, and then they were going after Captain America's best friend. I think they just had to have a best friend and then take it for...
He's a pretty major character in the Iron Man storyline. I think
he is. I think so too. But I think they've already done too many Iron Man movies, and they're clearly trying to like at least move away from because the last couple he hasn't really been in full Iron Man suit like he was in the first two. He always has been like in the Civil War. Actually, he didn't have his suit. He only had his like hand. And had to like fight everyone who invaded the Avengers thing. Not when the scene where they attack. Not in the scene where they attack him.
The whole in fight scene.
No. I'm saying like he's not in a suit as often. Like what you were saying is in Phase 4 he's going to be moving more towards like a support role rather than going out there and being like Iron Man all the time, which is like why his character would stay because Captain America clearly is going to be the martyr.
He is in the movie though.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I thought I had seen him in the movie. Marvel's never thrown out a character completely.
I just don't think he's going to be as like, and he's probably going to say.
I'm saying they kill off characters left and right. Like,
you really think they're just going to murder bitches?
I think they're going to thin the herd.
Really?
There's a lot of characters now.
So your final predictions are Captain America.
Yes.
Vision. And
Don Cheadle.
Really?
Iron Patriot.
Okay.
Well,
I'm also.
I think you have to throw one long ball.
I also think it's Captain America and Vision, but for the last one, I don't.
Can Vision exist without his? He can't. Can he?
I don't think so.
That Infinity Stone in the movie is
literally what's keeping him together.
Yeah,
because he's just an AI, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I blocked out the whole movie.
If he dies, maybe he reverts back to Jarvis or something like that, or whoever. Was it Jarvis? Was it Jarvis?
He's Jarvis. Yes.
What a convoluted, weird thing that was.
Yeah. I loved the concept. It's just the acting and then like the love storyline and then like his kind of one-liners about walls.
I flew through walls.
Yeah.
I don't know any better.
We got it.
But also, I think like who would part of me's like maybe they'll kill Thor. But he's too sexy. Let's all be real.
I think he leaves for Asgard at the end of the next movie.
Really, and then he's like, I already lost the eye to this world.
Someone's got to rule, and it ain't gonna be Loki.
Do you think someone from the Guardian of the Galaxy universe could beat it?
Maybe because I think they've confirmed a third movie for them. And I think they're too. Honestly, I think they're not ingrained enough in the Marvel universe to really be like a big hit.
It'll be interesting to see.
They're there, but who cares? Maybe Groot gets blown up again, just to keep Groot.
It is confirmed
going.
It's Groot Jr. now.
It's teenage Groot, right?
Yeah, but it's like this. It's Groot's son.
Oh yeah, it's not the original Groot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Groot was the bad guy.
All right, John. What are your three?
All right.
Wait, who was your third?
I don't have one yet. I don't know. I honestly maybe Thor, but I don't think that's real.
These are 6 months out, isn't it?
Yeah.
When in November.
I think I'm gonna wait on my third.
What, this?
What is this Infinity War come?
April?
Yeah.
No, wait, is it really?
It's April.
Usually
they moved it up to April 27th, I think.
Oh, because they have Star Wars coming.
Yeah.
I remember reading about them like we can't compete with ourselves.
Yeah, we have like.
Oh, dude, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go see it?
Sure.
Absolutely.
After I get on my.
Because we can't trust Soren to say
watch a movie. I know.
We're gonna.
Hey, have you seen this? No.
No.
How long has it been out? 6
No,
years?
6 years, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Weren't you going to see it yesterday? You literally
I
texted
did
us
say I
2
was going
days
to see it
ago
yesterday.
and said we're going to
and
see Black Panther.
We didn't.
Piece of shit.
She
All right, so
fell
my
asleep.
predictions.
You're going to go against the grain
I
with the
think
major?
Captain America is a good bet.
Yeah.
I don't want him to, but I understand that that's probably going to have to happen.
I'm more excited to see what Captain Marvel is going to bring to the table
That's
than Chris Hemsworth trying to.
Who else would
I know
be
y'all
in the
don't
same
like
level?
him. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I know
I
y'all...
think Tony might be. I think
Well,
there's
okay, yeah,
still
obviously Tony,
potential,
Captain America.
but I don't know.
Is there anyone else in the whole Marvel universe that comes close, do you think, to the popularity of those two? I don't think so, right?
Because it's weird also that they showed an updated spider suit. Because I know in Iron Man's future, when he dies, his son takes over the company, and then it becomes the next Iron Man, and they do this little thing of him trying to do the mantle, and it's a lot, and then I think some weird
I
time
don't
stuff
think they would
happens, and
think
Tony comes
anywhere
back. I
around
don't
that.
know.
I don't think so.
But what I'm saying
Sure,
is,
sure.
I think Spider-Man, if they do kill Tony Stark, would be a interesting because it's very it's kind of surrounding Spider-Man at this point a little bit.
Yeah, and it seems like Tony's definitely grooming
Yes.
Peter Parker
Yes.
for that. I mean,
The
he's taking an
internship
interest- yeah.
and all the
I think
the
looking
different
at
stuff.
from a producer standpoint, replacing Robert Downey Jr. with Tom Holland, who's not the issue
That's
with
fair.
when they're when
No,
you're
I
planning
agree, yeah.
is that replacing with Spider-Man's okay, but we have to recast Spider-Man every 5 years.
And
right?
that's true,
Because
but I think
Spider-Man can't ever get
I
that
think
much older.
that is true, but he's young enough where I think within the universe and the plans that they have laid out,
It
that
seems
he
like
could
it's gonna
potentially
kill
lead
all
it
the
till
old
the
guard.
end.
Yeah.
And then
And that's been the plan forever,
Mm-hmm.
though. Because, it was a big deal when Robert Downey Jr. signed on to do an extra,
Yeah.
2 appearances.
Yeah.
Because
at
all of
one
them
point,
originally
yeah.
were we signed up for 6 movies, I'm doing 6 movies, 3 of my own, 3 of
Yeah.
this. And then they have basically... Well, they didn't make a third... Did they make a third Captain America?
No.
I think that's because they replaced it with it was the Civil War. Was that Captain America?
Oh,
technically?
it was.
yeah, it was Captain
Because I
America,
remember they had to
Winter
basically
Soldier,
beg someone to do
Civil
someone
War.
else's movie. And Robert Downey Jr. was the one who agreed, I'll do a third. I'll do the Captain America one. That way Chris Evans still stays at 6.
Yeah. See, I hate thinking about all the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just fucking ruins
And
everything
it,
for
yeah,
me.
because the story.
I'm sorry. I think it's cool.
No,
I think
I
it's
know.
cool how
I think it-
all this stuff comes
and
together.
any other thing, yes, but for this, it's just can you guys just do it for the character's sake? And then Robert Downey Jr. is just a shithead. I don't know.
I get upset when people are it's just a character. I'm just an actor. It's like Dwight.
Yeah.
When we brought Rainn Wilson to Washburn, and
Okay.
he was like, I will not talk about Dwight. He literally said for the first, he stood up on stage, so 15 seconds, here you go. And he said a bunch of Dwight jokes, and he goes, that's done. He didn't want questions about it. He didn't want it brought up to him.
It was in his
wasn't allowed to
contract
be
that we
allowed
were
to
not allowed
spoken
to
about.
yeah.
And he gets mad if you watch interviews. He's like, it was a character. People get up. It would be frustrating if someone tweeted at you oh, how's Angela? In a picture of you and your wife or whatever. But at the same time, it's you were kind of a big deal. To me, I watched The Office. Like I said, I've seen it 19
Yeah,
times. But it was
right.
the whole time I was growing up, I watched The Office.
Yeah.
And then he's just an actor. Harrison Ford's the worst about it.
Right.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when Han Solo died?
Okay, yeah.
I told him to kill him earlier.
Yeah, it was really funny because during that whole event, he was asking for questions, and I don't know what he said. He started opening up about God and stuff because he's actually super religious, and I don't know what was said that transpired this. But my dad, of all people, of course, is the one who raises his hand and stands up and says do you want a hug or some. You remember that?
Yeah.
And he said something really snide back to my dad or something, and not snide, but a weird joke that was kind of
fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, then he agreed to do. They were adamant. They're 45 or 30 minutes afterwards, he'll sign books. And so we get 30 minutes in. There's 25, 30 people left out of 100. And we're okay, we start warning them, okay, guys, in 2 minutes, he's done. Absolutely. His manager, told us 1,000 times, he stops 30 minutes. I hate the library computer. And, thank you. You turned it, it says 100. It was
100.
muted. It was muted, and it still makes that noise.
All right, I give up.
But he said, and so we're telling people, he goes, no, it's fine. We thought he was being really cool about it. We came down to literally 3 or 4 people left. He goes, my hand hurts, I'm done. And like these people had waited like 45 minutes for
And
it.
I was like, wow, that's such a
And Jess is like, or the person we were working with, she goes, they're like, there's just these few people left. He goes, my hand's cramping, I'm done. And he left. Like those 4 people didn't get anything signed. Like we had stuff left over for cab. I'm pretty sure we gave our campus activity boards extras. Like, take them. Like we're sorry.
Wow.
He was just he's one like he's the best example of like people who are like get over it. It was just a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Which is like the epitome of Disney and what they're doing. With
I just don't. I mean, I get that, like, you know, it's a job, but like they don't understand that, like, when they like inhabit these characters, that they, it's like they mean a lot to people. And like, yeah, I get you're a person, but like, what you did had like such a huge influence on like American like
culture,
popular culture.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
could you just throw us a fucking bone?
Yeah.
Our fucking lives are terrible.
Yeah.
Could you just do the thing?
His cameo in Spider-Man, Captain America's cameo in Spider-Man, though, that end scene, so people were so mad. I'm like, this is what you agreed to show up for, was to tell people, like, sometimes you're going to be disappointed, and then walk off screen. Thanks, Chris Evans.
Jesus.
So you got all 3 of us say Captain America.
Captain America, I think the Vision...
So all of us say the Vision.
is a good bet. Now,
So basically our third vote's going to decide who wins.
I think I'm going to cheat. And I don't think it'll be an Avenger, technically. But I think Loki is going to die.
Do you really?
I think Loki is going to get fucking murdered.
I can see Loki doing something. That's a good call.
I think the scene in the trailer where clearly Thanos has his hand on Thor's head and squeezing it.
You think it's going to be like his redeeming moment?
I think it's more like he's making Thor watch him kill Loki.
Oh. Oh, damn.
That's dark.
He says.
With his
That's
one
good.
good eye.
With his one.
His eye patch is so cool.
His eye patch is dope. So cool.
It's really cool.
And then he did that thunder thing, and I was like, okay.
This is cool. Yeah.
You are my guy.
I think that Loki.
Fucky.
I think that Loki is going to try to get like the upper hand on Thanos, and Thanos is going to be like, no.
I don't know.
No.
I think we should run with that Thoki theory. There, they do the fusion Ha from Dragon Ball Z, and they become like
worst.
like
Literally.
ultra gods and take out Thanos.
Yeah, I think he's just going to like fucking obliterate him with like a stone. It's like, that's what you get, fucker. Or something just terrible.
So, and I think we need
Insane.
a third person for it. We all guess the same too. So basically,
Ooh,
our third
ooh.
person decides. So you got to pick someone different.
Yeah, I'll try and pick someone. But on that, you know what? Loki's a trickster god, and one thing he's always tried to get is power.
Yeah.
I bet he makes him touch the Infinity Stone, and he just disappears.
Could be.
Like poofs up like the purple
Yeah.
stone.
Mm-hmm.
They kinda, that whole thing to set up the second movie with Guardians.
Yeah.
I just really feel like they screwed the pooch on that second storyline. I thought it was cool, and it was an adventure. I feel like they picked the worst possible direction to go with. Like,
we just saved the world. Let's go take a vacation with the family and learn about family dynamics on a ship. But yeah, no, for sure. My third prediction. So we all think Captain America, Vision. Ugh. You know who I really feel like has never cared too much? The Hulk.
No.
You don't think they'll kill the Hulk?
I think the whole... Why would you kill the guy you can keep throwing into movies? Which is the plan with him, right?
Is it?
That's why they stopped making movies. They decided he can't run a movie. It doesn't make sense to make a whole movie about
I
him getting mad one
I don't
time.
know. I could see him getting killed because of how that would affect the Black Widow, and then that would set her up for her potential movie in the future.
I think Captain America is what's meant to affect the Black Widow. They've always had that kind of weird, like, almost a thing, but not really a thing.
The thing everyone has always been, and that's the thing, he's always had those moments where he's just thrown into the movies, and generally he's the one that goes in there and does the most damage and essentially is their big hitter. So what's the first thing you do when you're trying to take out your enemy? You take out the big gun.
Yeah, okay, so I like this theory, actually. At first I was like, no, but now I'm starting to see this. Because
I don't think so.
if you think about
And I'm trying to say more terms of like how the actor. I just don't think, was it Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
He's got a sweet gig.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect for him. What's Bruce Banner's character besides the Hulk, guys? They have it because they tried to do this that like, hey, he's an intelligent guy in the Age of Ultron, where they did all that sit down and let's talk AI jargon together and like be super smart intellectuals, and then he just fucking leaves and like has emotions about it, but not really, because even when he left, how he left the Black Widow, and then like maybe that's because they're not emotional people or whatever, because she's KG. Is she Russian?
She's a Russian assassin.
Okay, so probably
she's a Red Sparrow.
Whatever she is, Red Sparrow. She's a Red Sparrow. So neither of them really have emotion. That whole thing when he left, like, was really just kind of weird, and he just did it. Like, he just took the ship and just like left, which is good on him, I guess. But I just don't feel like his like. There's a lot more depth to the Hulk that they show, and even I felt like Edward Norton's rendition, there was still more connection to the human side rather than, hey, it's the fucking Hulk and he's gonna go, he's gonna take Thor and just like slam him back and forth a couple times.
I know that we're technically competing in this prediction off thing that we're doing, but I'm just gonna say this about your prediction because I like it a lot. I think in Thor 3 or whatever, when the Hulk and Thor are having like a discussion about, I don't know, they think that you're the dumb Avenger or whatever, and I don't know, then he reverts back to like Mark Ruffalo. I think there's kind of like, it's hinted at where like, Banner doesn't think that he's like a real like part of the team, or like, he has no use besides just becoming like this huge like, monster thing. And so I think, when he returns, it's going to be like returns to Earth, it's going to be kind of like him seeking redemption type of thing. And I think that he's going to get that redemption, but in doing so, Thanos is going to fucking murder him. So,
can I say why I think you're wrong?
Sure.
Dude tried to shoot himself in the head and didn't work. You remember that? Where they said, where he basically says, like, I tried to off myself and I couldn't die.
Yeah, and the other guy just spit up.
I don't know. Like, hey,
I don't think you can
get 5 power stones in the Infinity Glove.
I think if something happens to the
possible.
Hulk, I think if anything happens to the Hulk, Hulk loses his Hulkness for a while. I don't think they'll kill the Hulk.
I would be on board with that. I would be on board with that. Because I like Bruce Banner the character.
So
I do like Bruce Banner.
And that gives you the cameos with them without necessarily, and then randomly, gamma radiation.
And it seems like it's largely hinted at that Tony's not in the Hulkbuster in the trailer. Everyone thinks it's Bruce Banner.
Oh, I know,
that'd be pretty awesome. Because like maybe
the Hulkbuster that then gets wrecked by those little dog things,
right? Yeah. And so then people think that like he gets wrecked by those dog things, and then he has to turn into the Hulk because that's his last.
I see.
We're making all sorts of good.
We're about to become famous because Don Cheadle's going to get killed.
Jesus Christ!
He can't get paralyzed and killed.
He's not paralyzed, is he?
He is. Yeah. Remember when he
got
shot out of the air? He got shot out of the air. He went down, and his legs are paralyzed. But he got back to like somewhat.
Doctor Strange can.
But as long as you put him into that's true.
I think they're going to go to Wakanda and they're going to put like a bead in him. And he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
But what
that was the best plot device. Just like
in the actual comics, he just stays in the suit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he does from then on. He, like, becomes the War Machine, since he can't walk anymore, and the suit's the only way he can walk. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so.
God. Alright, so, are we done with Infinity War?
I think so. We spent a solid chunk talking about Marvel.
Wow, okay. So, the last couple trailers that we watched recently, we watched the MI6 trailer.
Yes.
I think he's...
You don't seem to...
I don't
to that one.
Nah.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise
They're
isn't
my
good for
favorite
me.
action movies.
Yeah. Every time
Those
it's
and the
on, my mom
Expendables.
will have them and we'll watch them and sit and...
The last thing that I really liked Tom Cruise in was that movie Live, Die, Repeat or whatever, where like he was...
that was the tagline, but what was the actual movie called?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. It's funny to
Edge of
remember that because they said
Tomorrow
Live
was
Die Repeat like a
amazing.
billion times.
Well, actually, that's what it was in theaters, but then they
And
brought
that's
some home
Edge
movie.
of Tomorrow 2 is coming. They've
Is it?
confirmed the second one.
That was a
It
surprisingly
was a
good movie.
surprisingly good movie.
I love that movie.
It was a good movie.
That's the last thing I
Groundhog
watched
Day
them
on
in that
crack.
I really, truly enjoyed.
Valkyrie was okay, but
Yeah.
there was some weird stuff with his acting.
I think he had one recently that was about him like being a cocaine smuggler. I can't remember.
I know
what
what
it
you're
was
talking
called.
about.
It was
Where
really-
he's like working like for
Tom
them,
Cruise
but then
is
like,
Tom Cruise.
why not take a bunch of money instead?
Tom Cruise on
that was
Ellen DeGeneres.
interesting. Yeah, so I really don't know the plot of like Mission Impossible movies. I assume
There's-
that he goes on an impossible mission, but because he's such a fucking badass,
Well, the
he
last
fucking
one-
does it.
Yeah.
So the last couple, he's been like basically abandoned in a prison
Okay.
because. Okay, so real quick.
Please, I have
Because it
no
seems like
idea.
this sets up this plot. So
You're
basically,
fine.
what happens is when they bring in Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner is a guy who is assigned to protect Tom Cruise's wife.
Okay.
And what's Tom Cruise's character's name? It doesn't. Tom Cruise. That's who he is.
Okay.
And so the whole plot is
Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt. So the whole plot is that Jeremy Renner failed to protect Ethan's wife, and she got murdered.
Oh, nice.
And then he went crazy and murdered a bunch of Serbians and was in prison.
imagine getting
Turns
murdered
out he
for
was also kind of like still working for people, getting information. And so, and then that's the one where they end up being disavowed
Yeah, it's
because
the
someone
Ghost
breaks
Protocol,
in.
yeah.
And so basically the whole thing shut down and they're enemies of the state,
Yeah.
but then they're not really. The next one, something very similar happens where they're like, Tom Cruise isn't a good guy anymore.
Yeah.
We need to kill him.
I
And this one
honestly-
seems like it's like, all right, guys, so we kind of screwed him twice in a very short period of time. And now I think he might actually be against
And
us.
my favorite part of that trailer is like, I don't know who it was the narrator of this line, but they were like, when does a man like this get tired of like
Being
doing-
disavowed
like, yeah,
and shot.
yeah. And it's just like about the time that he says, I think I've made my last couple $1 million, right? Because people
Right.
love these action movies.
Oh, the plot twist is his wife was actually alive, but they faked her death to
Yeah.
protect her. So,
And they're-
so basically, he's a terrible human. Because
And
let
honestly,
Jeremy Renner think he got someone
For
murdered.
and I feel like you don't like it because it's just like a straight action film and you already know what's going to be happening. And
Yeah,
there's literally
I mean-
nothing to expect except for
Yeah.
what's already on the screen.
Yeah, I see
and
it. And
I
it's
feel like it's been that way since Mission Impossible.
One.
Yeah, actually. I was about to say 2, but then I was like, nope, really 1.
Wow.
1 was the only one that was different, and then the rest were essentially the same.
Well, see, I think I saw
sexy
the first
action
one when it
thriller.
first came out, which was like when I was like a baby.
Yeah.
Like, I was a child.
Yep.
And the only thing I fucking remember is that thing that's been like ingrained in American culture, where it's like he drops down from a ceiling and
Yep.
he's like, "I got these gloves on.
Yeah,
Let's take
yeah.
this, whatever the fuck it is," and then
It was the only other movie that made me feel like I was watching one of those old Harrison Ford movies,
Fugitive?
Fugitive, or Air Force One. Is it Air Force One?
Yes.
Yeah. And then whatever the other one was, the sequel to Air Force One.
I like
prequel to Air Force
it's
One.
basically a procedural like cop show where there's like one overarching story
Okay.
that shows up once every 3 or 4 episodes. Basically, they just like every movie you get a little bit,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, that's still
Yeah,
a
okay.
thing. Like he gets married in the second one, but then the third one's where she
It's
like
got a
got
huge
killed,
heist
but
feel
not
to
really
it
killed.
too, because it's just like it's nothing but like stealing and or killing people.
There's some
So-
cool technology
Yeah,
stuff in
okay.
it. Simon Pegg
See,
showed up.
Yeah, that's true. I love Simon Pegg.
That's pretty fun.
So the thing about these movies, like, I feel like they take themselves too seriously, and like that ruins it for me.
Yeah.
But I will watch like shit like Fast and Furious.
Mhm.
Those movies are god fucking awful.
Yep.
But everybody in that knows this, and like they're
I don't
literally-
know. I think
Except for
Tyrese
Tyrese
Gibson thinks it's real.
That's true. He does
I
think it's
think
real.
The Rock.
No.
I think he just knows this is his life now, so it's just what's new.
I think Vin Diesel's like.
I'm Groot.
So I think, those movies are like, those kinds of movies are aware, whereas Mission Impossible is not aware.
Yeah.
Like, it's jumped the shark, like,
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
movies ago.
And even then, like other movies that are about spies, Because this movie is about spies.
Yeah, see, I didn't even like spy movies.
Does not have a spy feel. Like, it doesn't have the Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It doesn't have even the Red Sparrow feel. It doesn't have any sort of like those traditional, I guess, mystery, like the first one did. Because the first one did have that. The first one was like, oh shit, he's in this like telephone booth, and he just saw someone get shot, and he goes over and realizes his wife, and it's like, oh no. And at the end of the movie, it's like, it was my friend the whole time and my mentor. And it's like,
what is this?
These are actual like interesting plot twists, and then after that, like guns, explosions, sex. Let's put that all up there.
All right, what else we got?
All right, the last trailer that we watched, and we can choose to talk about it or not, is Ocean's 8.
Sure. No.
Yeah?
That's my. If we talk about it, that's my whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at.
I'll just say I love the Oceans franchise. Yeah. I'm going to watch the fucking shit out of this movie. It doesn't look like it brings a whole lot of different things to the table.
Yep.
Besides being the cast of entirely women, which I'm fine with.
Yep.
And I think all the casting choices are great, and I think it's going to be not interesting, but it'll be entertaining movie, and I'm going to watch it.
I think my issue is already 1 out of the 3 movies made in Oceans was Yeah. Like 12 was just like there's a reason they showed 11 and 13 on TV, and 12 is just like never mentioned.
Yeah, 12 is never mentioned because it was like, what are they doing? Julia Roberts is playing Julia Roberts, and 13 is, I think, the best Oceans personally.
Okay.
That was the last Bernie movie, right?
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac. I loved him. I loved his TV show.
I cried when he died.
I didn't, but I thought he was funny.
Yeah.
I used to watch the Bernie Mac show.
I loved all the Def
all
Comedy Jams. Yeah. I watched all the Bernie Mac show.
Oh, I did have...
I watched most of his movies.
We can move on from Ocean's 8 because I just thought of something that I was going to ask. Okay. So I watched this movie last night. It came out several months ago. It's with Matt Damon. It's called Downsizing. Or something like that. Or Downsized.
Is this the one where he is...
Shrunk?
Nope.
Okay, alright. Watch this movie. Thought this was going to be corny as fuck. Kind of is. However, it's actually kind of beautiful and like really well written and just funny and great. Okay. So basically the idea behind it is that there's a scientist and he creates this process and serum through which you can shrink yourself down to yay big.
Okay.
And that's about 5 or 6 inches.
Yeah.
I'm a frickin' pickle. Yeah.
Christ.
What's the payoff? What else do you want me to say?
What else? Yeah, okay.
9/11 was inside job. Does it matter?
Jesus Christ. So he creates this, this serum and this process by which you can shrink things to whatever. There's like some sort of ratio, but it's about 6 inches. So like your 6 foot tall person is about 6 inches. And the entire reason behind this is due to like overpopulation, overconsumption of the earth, things like this. He's like, well, if
everyone's smaller,
right? If we just consume less,
what if we just took the whole town and moved it over here?
Pretty much, but made it very tiny. So this process develops, and like there's this like first colony like in Norway, all these things, and then it becomes kind of like the thing to do. So Matt Damon and his wife, Kristen Wiig, go through this process. Shave your head. They take out your dental implants because those won't shrink because those are unnatural.
Okay.
So they have to take out that shit or else your freaking head is going to explode.
Yeah, so if you have like a steel plate or something.
Yeah, steel plate, metal leg,
wow.
shit, they had to you're fucked.
That's how the old people that's how that generation goes away, right? We all just shrink ourselves and
so
then they just don't have hair anymore.
They're like injected, like disrobed, put in like this incubator type thing to like activate the shit in their bodies to shrink them. So Matt Damon, I'm spoiling this, but just I have questions.
Look, can we wait? What if we talk about it next week? What if we promise?
Okay, I won't spoil this.
I won't watch it, so
you won't watch it.
I will do it.
Okay, now
to be continued. Now you have to listen to the next.
I did have a question I was going to ask, just real quick. Would you do this?
No, I would go to Mars.
Why would you not do this?
Because I don't want to be stepped on.
Ants.
You wouldn't be because you were going to be put in your own...
Snakes, spiders.
They have these like very tiny like societies.
Birds.
Yeah, he's
squirrels.
They're like nature.
They're like indoor facilities.
Like when the big people die...
True.
Who's going to stop the other things from eating?
Well, they become like self-sustaining like populations.
What if the bubble breaks? And someone gets inside?
I just think there's too many things that could go wrong.
That's true.
Personally, if they could shrink me about 6 inches, then I'd stop hitting my head on everything. So that'd be like really cool. But other than that, really I like cool. The height right now.
Fair.
And I don't want to go that small.
I imagine you would still proportionally be 6'9".
Now this all seems like a bad idea.
Good point.
Just from like a physicality standpoint. However, they meet with like an adjuster, like a person that's like, okay, so here's all your money, your debt to ratio, all this shit, your equity, all this stuff, and it's going to be converted down to tiny people money and consumption and wage of like living. Okay, between him and his wife, they had about $152,000 between them.
Okay,
that converts somehow math to $12.5 million if you shrink.
So it's an incentive.
I need those numbers one more time.
They have $152,000 as big people.
Okay.
But
you once reduce that down, they're millionaires.
Yeah.
So it's like an incentive to shrink, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Ah.
So they shrink, but they have.
We shrink you down by 9 times.
It's probably still.
I go from like 3 cents to $12.
$3.
Well, and then like
I get like $4.
They go through like all these different seminars, and Neil Patrick Harris is like, "Hey, he's like shrunk or whatever. He's like, hey, honey, how much did you spend on those, diamond bracelet and necklace?" And she's like, "Oh, only $82." He's like, "That's our food budget for 2 whole months. What are you doing?"
No.
And just all this stuff. It's like $82. Jesus Christ.
Huh.
I don't know. So it's So it's like you'd have a...
Because then you'd have like a giant-ass hot dog and people could just eat off that for like the rest of their life.
Oh my God.
Like, all right, what do you want today? And be like, I want pizza. They just put one pizza down, like one slice. And
but everything gets
everyone
shrunk.
just kind of flocks and
everything
eats
is just different.
I'm saying, but that's... See, now they're just not doing it right then.
I don't know.
You shrink yourself down, keep some big people in to make the big stuff so that the little people can eat
Sometimes they would get their tiny little hands on like bottles of huge vodka or like actual like flour.
Whoa!
Yeah, like they have a huge thing of like absolute vodka, but they like tie ropes, tiny little ropes to it. And...
Well, I think I would only do it if there was a system in which I could work out and create electricity at the same time.
Okay.
Like a Fugelbox or a Google Crank or whatever it was called.
Okay, Christ. Anywho.
All right, no, I wouldn't do it. That's a weird
fair enough.
Okay. Matt Damon, that's a weird...
It's a weird movie. But I loved it. It was so good.
Is that on Netflix?
I don't know. Go find it.
Oh, I'm about ready to look up all his movies because I'm going to go in on Matt Damon, but then I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
Okay, how about... So while he's doing something...
Okay, so we have a couple more things we can talk about.
Almost ready for my Matt Damon. All right,
never mind. He's got it. That was quick.
Jason Bourne, pretty good one. Great Wall, awful. Interstellar, pretty good. Never mind. You're doing a really good job.
Did you think he wasn't a good actor?
I thought the last couple movies,
He's
like The Great Wall,
The
Great Wall, and now Downsizing.
It was great. I loved it.
I just think the concepts are weird, but
he's judging it before he's even seen it.
Keep talking about teachers and how we need to pay them more, and keep giving water to all the people who need it in the world, because people like you spend your money that way.
But Soren hates your movies.
But don't make things like Great Wall.
Downsizing is great. Please go watch it.
Okay.
You need to fucking watch it. You need to fucking watch it. I love that.
I think there's a lot you could do with that concept, though.
It's a great concept. And they don't just now we're in a colony. No, things they take a turn, and it's not really dark, it's not really hopeful, but it's different.
It's just different, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we have a couple other things we can pick from. So recently, as in yesterday, I downloaded PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battleground for the uninitiated, on
mobile
on my smartphone, and this is a port of the PC game. I played a few rounds and discovered that I'm
awesome,
pretty fucking good. I'm a goddamn legend. Out of the 6 matches I played,
I am Sam Qua.
I have been consistently in the top 10. So fucking good.
How many kills do you get per game?
5.
That's pretty.
That's neat.
That's not bad for just starting mobile.
That's pretty fucking good. Then you know what I had to read yesterday on a fucking Kotaku article. There's goddamn bots in that game. I'm not even killing real people.
Fortnite's ranked higher than PUBG and
Shut up.
Well, Fortnite has
in the
been
rankings.
kicking ass pretty much on everything.
I have to download that next and then
And they're
play
amazing
against bots.
skins. Yeah. Yeah, and Fortnite did just come out with their mobile version as
That's
well.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's number one.
And
We're number one.
I watched some gameplay too, and it looks like people can aim pretty well with the mobile controls, which I've always found a little bit difficult to do.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy.
Yeah, but like just the fact that there could be like fake players on there, I guess if they're just trying to make it seem and like there are 100 players per map for the mobile, because we were talking about this a little earlier, like there's no way those servers for mobile devices can actually hold 100 separate mobile devices.
No.
When I can't even get my YouTube Red that I pay for to consistently play everything without interruption. But
yeah,
I digress.
I tend to agree with that because, like, as soon as I hit, like, whatever, matchmake or pair or whatever play, I'm put into a lobby, and it usually starts at, like, I don't know, already there's 83 people there. And then it goes within seconds to 100.
Mm-hmm. And then you're already in the plane?
And then it takes, there's the countdown or whatever, but then we go.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking plane goes, we're jumping out of the motherfucker. I'm scrambling for gear. And so, basically the Kotaku article basically just said that we theorize, we think, we suspect that there are bots. And it's not confirmed, but after reading that, I 100% think that this is the case.
Why?
Because I don't think that shit's going to be able to load that fast if you have 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
I think
process on a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ratio is 80-20, so 80 bots, 20 actual people.
And we've played PUBG with John. So we know.
I'm fucking terrible.
There's no way.
There's
Like,
no
Like,
way.
I'm bad,
I play
and
with
like he's just
Soren.
like a very low degree below. Like we're close to the same level, but I can
I
get
don't know.
some
the first time I
consistent
played
kills.
with the two of you, and I got killed.
Malcolm
and your
is
first
way better
reaction
than us.
was to like, you were both in one building, like throwing smoke grenades at one point, and no one died besides us. Not a
Yeah.
single shot, I think, landed.
Oh, and then we all
on
took that.
anyone
We all
else.
took that car and drove off, and that ended poorly.
Yeah,
with
and
all
that-
three of us
and
trying
that
to
guy,
like.
this poor guy could hear them in the background, like, how do I pick this up? Where are you guys at? How do I look at the
It
map, guys?
was-
And he goes, what, are you all in the same room? Yes, we're all in the
Yeah.
same room. Well, can you tell them to do this? Because they're not listening to me.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't hear you.
As a unit, we did not do too well.
Yeah,
but
on
seems individual.
mobile, on mobile, I'm a fucking god. Apparently, it was weird because like I'll just be like picking up all this gear and I'll have like a gun because that's what this game is, and I'll meet someone or whatever, and then they'll like fire a couple times at me. They don't seem like they're really aiming for me. Mm-hmm. I'm able to adjust, which takes a second on mobile.
Yeah,
you gotta fucking manipulate.
Oh crap! My thumb wasn't in the right place
Right.
to do the right left.
And I'm always like constantly like pressing on the thing to fire, and like I'm scaring myself. But then I have to adjust it, which takes me 5 seconds, which is precious time in FPS. And then I shoot this person somehow, and I win. And I'm like, well, that should not have happened because I'm not very good at this game. But yeah, so it seems to me that this is definitely there are bots, very clearly.
Yeah, because you said like you were like standing somewhere like on a building, and some dude was just like shooting at you and not moving.
He was like not moving. Like he obviously like had come up and was like trying to stay within the boundary, which is
Was
like
it a sniper or was it like a machine gun?
I don't even know. It
Remember?
seemed like maybe it was even like a handgun.
Okay.
And I'm just like, okay.
You're just sitting there shooting off in the air.
And I'm like, how are you? This is dumb. Like, why don't you sneak up behind me? Like, this is
Just
not
like half-second intervals.
Well, this
of
is
the
not
gun
player
firing.
behavior. This is not player behavior
Yeah.
at all. And so it's like, why wouldn't you just like sneak up behind me and then try to take me out that way?
You're
You
not
didn't
even
want
crouched
to,
right now.
John.
You're not even crouched, bro.
I mean, and it could be people that are like inexperienced with this game. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know. I could definitely see, because Blue Hole is definitely a weird company. They got a lot of issues with the
And I think the port is done
creator.
it's done by Tencent Games, is the company that did the port.
We all know that anything that ports over that's trying to be an actual version of a different sort of game.
Wait, what does Tencent make? Because I know that
Pokemon Go.
Is that what they make?
No, they make
No,
Niantic.
that's
Niantic.
I was just saying another company that also has butchered a port of a decent game.
It wasn't a port.
It
though.
was supposed to be better.
No.
We all knew it.
Dude, I think it was honestly exactly what they said it was going to be.
They were like, there's
And then
going to be
people were like-
trading, and you can battle your friends, and you can talk to your friends, and do stuff with it, and train your Pokemon. But really, you just catch them, and that's about all you do.
The gyms are pretty cool, is my understanding.
Yeah,
I haven't done
the gyms
it.
are fun.
I literally like.
And but raids now, like if you're not playing with friends, there's 0 point.
I think that was the issue they'd always run into.
Yep.
Like, how do we balance it between
Actual
like,
people going out and doing
singles
it.
and everyone
Yeah.
else? And you
Yeah.
should probably err on the side of you need other people. That way,
Yeah.
individuals don't give. or
But
groups don't
regardless,
give forward.
you know, you could still play with other people, and
Yeah.
there was a lot more people you could play with. Sounds like
It's
on
true.
PUBG, you know, you
And actually-
don't even know what you're getting.
And even with this bot problem, which I don't think is a problem, and I think it's just something that they're trying to make their game like operational while it's still technically in beta.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of
what
like,
the mobile is.
yeah.
Oh, good. Now we're doing beta early
Yeah.
access.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of what it is.
And PUBG was early access for so long.
Yeah.
it was only a year. I mean, as far as like the development schedule. No, well, when you think about the fact that a game takes 4 years to make.
But like just specifically that company and that guy going from like DayZ, which was even it was a mod for that game, but DayZ was still early access, and then H1Z1 was still early access, and then when PUBG came out, it was still early access, and even Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite just threw the Battle Royale mode in last second because they had
they've been under development for years.
No. That they originally had. It was supposed to be a co-op zombie shooter where you created things, and then once the Battle Royale mode kind of like took off, Fortnite decided to just do it for free.
No, they had been developing the Battle Royale for a while.
Oh, I thought they.
So that
their
mode,
first
they're still in
original
early
was-
access. Yeah, that's still
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
They upped the schedule of releasing a little bit, but the whole game's still early access because it's all going free allegedly whenever they come out. But they
that
had
would
already
be nice
been
because I want to.
they'd already been developing the Battle Royale mode because of H1Z1 and DayZ and all
Right,
those.
yeah.
And then as soon as PUBG came out, they're like, well, if they can put that out,
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
we can release our
Yeah.
half done. But
So-
PUBG comparatively was only 1 year in early access compared to
To the 3
how
years.
long has
It was
DayZ been in
DayZ it was like
early access?
3.
I don't think it's ever going to
the
get
standalone.
It was like it was 3 years of early access. I'm pretty sure, if not maybe a little
Ooh.
more.
And they finally, I think, just said, fine, it's
Yeah.
out, we're done.
Yeah.
But none of the stuff you promised is in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done. It's out. You're welcome.
I just and another thing, like if PUBG's doing this, and I don't know, it seems that Fortnite, since they have the backing of the AAAs, the Microsoft and Sony and all that stuff, and kind of getting some weird. Remember, it was probably early this year where there was some weird cross-platform thing where someone on PS4 ended up on like the Microsoft servers or something like that in Fortnite. So it'd be interesting to see like what Fortnite's mobile version would be, just to see if
Yeah.
it's the same sort of bot problems or the same sort of issues that they're coming across in terms of 20/80 ratio like you're saying. But
Right.
I could definitely see that too, just because like I don't know, Fortnite is just a different kind of experience.
Yeah, and I don't think I've actually ever played Fortnite.
Yeah, there's not a lot of standing around, whereas in PUBG, like,
Yeah.
you don't want to stand around, but if you're trying
Sometimes
to aim and
it's
you're trying to
fine.
do that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll say, my final word on this mobile port is that it's actually a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
There are like some like control issues which I think they can kind of like iron out because like there's one button to move and one button to like look around. And sometimes they kind of like
Get
fuck
too
up and
close
then you
together.
like spin around and it's like, well, where the fuck am I? It's not helpful.
I was headed 3 clicks to the south,
Yeah.
and then I just did like
well, and like
30s, 360s.
That's pretty much. So
No
like
scope.
when you're going through buildings or whatever, that's not helpful because it's like, did I go through that door or
Clear, I think.
when you're out in the open, it's fine. Whatever. You
Is it the
shouldn't-
same map? The exact same map?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like there's
Is it
school-
just one?
It's just the one map.
Okay.
They're working on a third map. That's in
They
the
are,
tropics.
yeah, and it's supposed to be like more based on close quarters combat,
Okay.
which will be interesting.
I want them to do like Judge Dredd,
Is this supposed to be
100
an island?
floors, and you're just like everyone's dropped on the floor, and then like random floors start getting shut down. And you have to like keep
That'd
moving.
be fun.
I think it'd be so exciting to be
Or
like
the Time Splitters maps.
I want them
Those
to
were always
build
fun.
up instead of.
Or old shooters maps.
That's the only reason Fortnite is better, is because I can run across the whole map in like a minute. Like it's like 3 minutes. Like there's never a point where I'm like, circle's too far away.
Yeah.
Don't have a vehicle.
That's true.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I absolutely hate PUBG when everyone lands in one spot. It's like, circle's over there, guys.
Yeah.
Like exact opposite side of the map. And you're like, oh, so my whole game's going to be sprinting. I'm going to get there and get shot instantly because someone else is already going to be laying.
Yeah, but
in
on
a bush.
mobile, they're probably gonna be bots. So you just take us all.
So I'm
It doesn't matter.
They'll stand there and take
They
bullets
will.
in the face.
And like, I'm thinking about like tactics to employ. There's this guy that's shooting me. I go prone, and I'm like, okay, he's not hitting, and he dies, and I'm like,
I did it.
I did it.
I did
Like
it.
I'm living out every like first person shooter fantasy. Like for all the games I played, I'm like, my God, I'm finally good at something.
You are the gunslinger.
I don't kill. I don't kill with my gun. I kill with my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my mantra when I go into PUBG Mobile.
I don't see with my eyes.
Jesus Christ, it's so lame. But yeah, so there you go. If you want to play it, I recommend it. It's got some kinks to work out.
I feel like every other mobile game, I'm going to play this for like 3 days and delete it because I really hate mobile games.
I know. You try to join my guild on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
I got locked out of my account.
What did you do?
It wouldn't let me sign back in.
Why?
That account I was using a Google account, so I kept trying to use it, and it wouldn't let me sign back into it. It said I was using the wrong password. So then I went and signed in my email with the right password, the same password, and it signed in. And so I just couldn't get into this game,
No.
even though I had been in it for a couple of weeks at that
True.
point. And then I got my iPhone, and guess what, guys? Google account sign-in doesn't exist on my iPhone. Welcome to the iPhone, Malcolm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't
boy.
work.
I meant to text you. I was so mad.
I kicked you out. I was like,
got
well,
my
he's been
thing.
inactive for 3 weeks. He's got to go, guys. So,
Yeah, I've been playing Fire Emblem like every other month, pretty much. That's the only
That's
one I
the only
kind of keep
game.
up
The
with.
Star Wars Galaxy is the only mobile game I've ever played for a prolonged period of time.
it was really
Same
good.
with Fire Emblem.
It's great. I played Fire Emblem
Yeah.
for a little bit. I was like,
Mainly because
For
I could just
nerds.
sit there and put on the auto battle and just
yeah, I
kind
was
of
like,
watch it go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, folks, is that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, this
Bye.
is Podspill number 10.
Bye.
Bye.